David Harper believed he understood people. For 15 years he had conducted the same silent experiment. In his mansion overlooking the snowy mountains of Aspen, he deliberately left large sums of cash in plain sight, on dressers, desks, and tables. Every employee he ever hired failed. Without exception, the money vanished. To David, trust was a myth. Integrity was rare, and disappointment was predictable. Until Laya Morgan walked into his house. Laya was 33, soft-spoken and modestly dressed. She had been hired as a housekeeper and arrived early on her first day. Her movements calm and professional. David personally showed her around the estate, casually emphasizing the upstairs rooms, especially the master bedroom. What he didn't mention was the money. That morning, David placed $18,000 neatly stacked on the dresser and quietly waited behind a partially open door. Laya entered the bedroom and froze when she noticed the cash. Her breath caught. For a brief second, the room was silent except for the ticking of a clock. David braced himself for what always came next. But it didn't. Instead, Laya gently gathered the bills, carefully straightened them, and counted each stack to ensure nothing was missing. She placed the money back exactly where it was, wrote a small note. 18,000 found and secured on dresser. Then she whispered softly, "Thank you, God, for honest work. Help me always choose what is right." Behind the door, David's world cracked. She finished her work without hesitation, cleaned the room thoroughly, and left as if nothing unusual had occurred. 2 hours later, she reported politely, "Mr. Harper, I'm finished upstairs." David could barely meet her eyes. Over the next few days, he watched closely. Laya worked with precision and humility. Curious, he tested her again, this time leaving a wallet with cash in the living room. She secured it and left another note. Not once did greed touch her hands. By the end of the week, David raised her salary. "I was just doing my job, sir," she said honestly. That was when David understood. That was exactly the difference. The return of the past. Soon after, David's ex-wife, Malene Brooks, returned. Elegant, confident, and calculating. She moved back into the estate temporarily. Her charm filled rooms, but her intent was darker. At David's birthday gathering, attended by Aspen's elite, Malene subtly targeted Laya. Under polite smiles and champagne glasses, she questioned Laya's status, dignity, and place. The room grew uncomfortable. When Malene pushed too far, David finally stepped forward. "This woman," he said firmly, "has more integrity than anyone I've met in years. She represents the values this house should stand for." Silence fell. Laya stood tall, calm, composed, unbroken. That night, Malene's influence dissolved. Respect shifted.